This is Travis Wayne Goodsell, and this is a video reply to My4saleit. He's been trying to communicate with me, get a hold of me. He finally responded through my website. I got your message. I don't see any reason why this needs to be private, so I'll answer your question here in a separate video. And I'll title it so that you are in the title so that you will know to come to it. Your question is if I believe in God, or who do I think God is? And that's simple. Nothing to that. No need to keep that private and secret. If you've not been watching my videos, guys, so this is open for everybody, so that everybody can know my God. If you haven't caught on, I embrace the ancient Egyptian order of religion, and so you can say the Egyptian gods are my gods, but it's a little more complicated than that, because the ancient Egyptian religion was a societal religion, similar to Jews, and it's not just a matter of worshiping a god, but more of living your life in a manner in which you yourself are godly, that you qualify to be a godlike character. And the temple rituals of the ancient Egyptians was after that manner. The initiate going through their temple rituals had to come before the scales of judgment, and there have their heart weighed on the scales. And instead of the 10 Commandments, which is a summation of the 42 affirmations of the Egyptians, and so instead of thou shalt not, it's I have not cheated my neighbor, I have not committed adultery, I have not lied, I have not murdered anybody, those types of things. It's a self-evaluation where you establish yourself and judge yourself, and you can't just go out, murder somebody, and then go through the temple ritual and say, I have not murdered anybody. It doesn't work like that. You know, you can get away with that, I guess, if the government doesn't catch you for your criminal behavior. But it's a moment to reflect on, you know, how do I treat my fellow man? Am I a white supremacist who treats others as subhumans? You know, that leads to murder when you think that way, if you're a white supremacist, doesn't it? Or any kind of racist, or sexist, or bigot, or xenophobe, or any kind of hatred towards other humans. And so the Egyptian temple rituals was all about purifying your heart, so that you seek for justice, you seek for order in the universe, the balance, you seek for equality among everybody. And each pharaoh who succeeded, typically his father, the son becomes the father, and the father becomes the son. They typically lived according to this ritual performance. They too went through the temple rituals as part of their coronation ceremony. So it's not just for the afterlife, it's also for coronation, it's also for personal perfection, personal improvement. And so, in a sense, the gods of Egypt are characters to aspire to be like, except for Set. But they have those contrary characters as teaching methods to inform you that of the Horus character. You can't have Horus succeeding to the throne of his father unless you have that contrary character who murders the father, usurps the throne, and it needs to be restored back to its original order. And that's the main message of the main Egyptian religion, is that Osiris, Set, Horus triangle, and we get to live it in our day, literally. And so this is an exciting time to live, if only we could generate more people with a pure heart and real courage of character. It's one thing to get up and talk about how America should be. It's another thing to live your life as America should be, as Americans should be, you being an American. And so the book of Thomas, where it says, I lifted a stone, but you weren't there. I lifted a branch, and you weren't there. And then something about I am not in buildings made of stone, or something like that. And most people have misinterpreted and misunderstood that, thinking that we don't need organized religion. It has nothing to do with organized religion per se. It has to do about being a godly person, being as God. And so if we look into our society, I consider Michael Jordan, for example, to be the god of basketball. He had lived, personified basketball excellence, and therefore I consider him to have achieved God status in basketball. And that may seem kind of weird, but it makes for great comic books. There's $1 million comic book idea, and Michael Jordan will have to be the one to take on that, because it's him. But yeah, you look in any career field, and when a person achieves the best in that field, they then can deserve the title or ranking of God, whatever it is you're doing. And for women, if you excel in the growth and development of children, goddess, mother goddess, that works too. And so it works for males and females. And yes, if a female wants to do other things, they can do that too. The Egyptian goddesses were involved in all sorts of trades and crafts and characters. And so Isis, for example, she was a healer. She was raised the dead. Her husband, she raised her husband from the dead, and healed him, and was an educator, and helped her son Horus through the Osirian rituals, because her husband was gone, so she had to help her son through the rituals. So yes, there's lots of different things other than just being a goddess of beauty and love, as we know some other goddesses who are great characters in other such TV shows or movies, such as Hercules, the Amazing Journeys, or something like that. Kevin Sorbo. But yeah, that's my belief in God, and it's not really a belief because I'm living it. I'm not talking the talk. I'm not walking the walk. I'm living it. That's what I aspire to do, is live my religion and not just talk about it as a concept that others seem to be doing for an upcoming election. Or I don't see too many walking the walk. You know, this is why campaigns are annoying and frustrating, is because we don't get to see them as people. We don't get to see, you know, for example, Maxine Waters, where is she at the border? She's no longer there. Her character was shown when she stood up to those buses of immigrant children being shipped off to other places in the United States to be separated from their families. And she got my respect that one time. Where is she now? Now she's back in Congress trying to get Trump's taxes and other stuff, but you know, that Trump's just playing them for fools. Purposely delaying, purposely refusing, purposely in denial. And you know, I need people of action to lead our government. And you can probably hear the sirens outside. And so, yeah, Beto, him too. Where is he now? He's now dancing on bar tables instead of wait till it passes. Instead of at the border. You know, he was at the border longer than Maxine Waters was. But again, where are they now? They stopped. And so we realized that if you're just doing stuff as a token appearance, you're not really walking the walk. You're not trying to become the being. And as a result, I can't trust that kind of person. I need consistency on a regular basis. And so I hope you guys have seen that in my videos as I'm trying to rescue Mormons out of Mormonism. Because I know that the Mormon God is not the true God. It is not helping Mormons to be godly. They talk the talk. They compel Mormons to walk the walk. But the reality is that the leaders themselves are not being that godly person. Yes, they're in the position of authority. They're supposed to be the being. And they're not. Because what they're doing to members is abuse. They tell Mormons that despite having gone through the temple rituals, which is the perfecting mechanism, they still tell the members, you're wicked, you're worthless, you need to be obedient, you need to follow us as prophet leaders. And that debases Mormons. I see it. I've seen it. As I've attended church for almost 50 years, I see elders who are married talking about how their wives are better than they are and they're worthless scum in comparison. No, you can't have that attitude if you're a part of the true Church of God. And I saw Mormon dads or some saint dads or Mormon dad saints, I don't know what their channel name is. It was just a bunch of Mormon dads who sat around and chatted. And the particular video I saw was about speculations for conference. And you know, they looked worn out and beaten up, and they're just lounging around, and a couple of guys were dominating the conversation and a couple of guys were being picked on for not speaking. Why are you on the video? But yeah, And then you hear about all the sexual abuses that are going on here in Utah, not just in the rest of the world, but here in Utah specifically. Abuse every single day is reported here in Utah. That does not represent a religion that claims to be God's religion and making the members godly. And so you have girls that, you know, have on their bumper sticker, "I'm not a princess, I'm a queen," or "I'm not a queen, I'm a goddess." You know, okay, but we'll know by your fruits. By their fruits we shall know you. By your fruits we shall know you. And we don't need a bumper sticker, because we're not going to trust a bumper sticker. We're going to trust how you act and behave towards not only us, not only towards whom you love, who is your family, but also to whom you don't know, to those who you don't need to know. Do you reach out? And you don't have to if your career does not allow that. You know, in my position, I'm stuck in my apartment on the computer, reaching out to the world. And so for me to give up on that, to go out into the neighborhood, why? I don't have to. There's not a great need for it, even though there is a need, but still, everybody is able to be their best, in whatever field they're in. And so if you're a doctor, be the best doctor. If you're a lawyer, if you own a business, be the best owner of that business. Treat your employees well. Pay them. Don't skimp on their wages just because the law allows you to skimp on their wages. They have to live too. And if you're living off of them while they suffer at a poorer quality of life, while you have the rich life, I'm sorry, you failed in life. You failed that test in the temple ritual at the judgment bar. And so, yeah, I hope that answers your question, My4saleit. And if you have any more questions, you can either reply through email, and I'll reply, or if you want to reply straight off of my videos, that's fine too. Yeah, I don't see any reason for secrecy on this. You know, Personal Jesus is just a great song by Depeche Mode. So, okay.